So hello guys, welcome back. In this video we are going to learn about the Android activity life cycle. In the first part of the video we will cover some theoretical concepts which are very easy to understand and easy to digest, but will provide a strong foundation in understanding the Android application anatomy. In the last part of this video we will demonstrate the life cycle with the help of a practical example of an application and with a little bit of coding with a simple sample app. So are you excited? Me too. Let's start the session. So guys, let's understand why the activity lifecycle is important. So as you know that today's Android phone have gone through a lot of revolution. Today the Android phone have tremendous features, specification, CPU, memory and a lot of RAM available. But still, as compared to the traditional laptop and computers, the Android phone are still limited in memory and processing power. Also, if your Android mobile application got millions of users, so the majority of users cannot afford such high-tech and high features mobile phones. So to tackle this situation, you have to design your application in an optimized way that it will consume less power, less memory and less mobile phone resources, so that it will be a light on the user mobile application and user can have a better and fast response about your mobile application. So the Android activity lifecycle guides us when to use these resources and when to release these resources in an optimized way. So what is an activity? So the Android activity is a dedicated screen of an application. Suppose you have a shopping application. So let me explain the idea by giving a real mobile application. So here I have my mobile phone. So let me search for my favorite shopping application, which is Daraz, just like Amazon and eBay application in your country. So as you can see here, I am seeing my home screen where a lot of products has been listed. So this complete screen is a single activity. In the same way, if I click on any product to go to another screen, so another screen is another activity. In the same way, I can go towards different products, different activities and different screens. So now what is activity life cycle? So activity life cycle consists of all the events and all the happenings occurred when we click to launch the application, we use it, we scroll down to get our desired action and we put it in background and finally we kill the application and shift it to another application or we put the phone off. So the complete session in which we use an application is called the activity life cycle. So your activity can be found in one of the following states. It can be active and running, it is pause state, it is stopped state or it is in killed state. So let me practically describe the idea. For this I have to kill the application. So initially I have not launched my application, it is in inactive state or killed state. So when I click to launch it, now my application is active and in running state. I can interact with it and I can use it. So when I click on any product to go on another activity, so I am seeing a new activity. My previous activity is in pause state but still present in the memory. It is not wiped off from the memory. So when I go on the back screen by clicking on the back button or from the mobile back button, I am seeing again my activity, it is again in active and running state. In the same way, when I put the application in background by clicking the home button, So now my application is gone into the pause state and then into the stopped state. So my activity has stopped all its action and tasks. So when I click to close my application, so now my application is in killed state. It is not running and all its session has gone. So now it is in killed state. So now let's understand what the activity stack is. An activity stack is just like a memory container in the mobile phone. So when we launch our application, our activity appears. The Android operating system put our activity in the first place. It pushed the new activity in the first place. So when I go to another screen, so now the activity 2 is pushed into the container and my previous activity is pushed down and the new activity appears on the top of my previous activity. So from here, if I go to another screen, so now the activity 3 has pushed my previous 2 activities down and now it is on the top of the container. So at a time we can see only one activity in the foreground or in active running state. So my all 3 activities are in the memory, the 2 are in paused state and the third one is in active state. So when I click the back button, activity 3 is popped or removed from the memory and now I am available on my second activity. So when I again click the back button, it is popped or removed from the memory container and now I am back where I started, and when I click again the back button, my application will be killed. So now the process has ended and my mobile application is terminated. So now these are the events we received throughout the activity life cycle. So this diagram is basically provided by the Android official documentation. So some people or some students finds it very difficult to understand, but I will try to explain with the practical example. Before that, let's briefly understand this diagram. So we start from here when we launch the application or activity. So activity is created in the memory or put in the container. We receive an event or callback on create and then it start its working. We receive on start and then after that we receive on resume event and our activity is in running state. So these 3 events are received one after another within a fraction of a second. So now when user goes another screen, we receive on pause, and when it comes back to the previous activity, we receive again on resume. Our previous activity again resumes its work and in active state. So when user press the back button, so it goes from here on pause and then on stop, and when the user come back, it receive on restart because system restarts the activity. Then we receive on start and then we goes on the on resume event and the activity is again in running state. So if the user kill the application, we receive on destroy. So now let's understand it with our previous example of application. So I have my application here. I will start from here, activity launched. When I click it, my activity is being launched and I will receive on create, on start and on resume, and my activity is running now as you can see here. So when I am going to another screen or another activity, I will receive on pause event, and when I come back to my previous activity, I will receive on resume and my activity is in running state again. So when I go into the background by clicking the home button, I will receive on pause and on stop. Now my activity has stopped its working. So when I again launch my activity, I will receive on restart, then on start and then on resume, and my activity is running again. So in the same way, if I kill the application, I will receive on destroy and my activity is shut down. So guys, this was the theory work. Now let's develop our basic or sample application to clear the idea. For this, now let's launch the Android Studio. From here, click on the Start a new Android Studio project. From here, we select Empty Activity. Click Next. I will write the name of my application as Activity Lifecycle Demo. So this is the package name of my application. I am okay with the default location. I will select Java as a language and the minimum SDK will be 4.4 KitKat. From here, click the Finish button. So Android Studio will take some time to load the project. So let's wait a while. So Android Studio is building the Gradle. So okay guys, our project is ready. So I have selected my Java code file here. So as you can see here, on create is by default is available in the source file. So it is the mandatory callback. Now let's define all our events. So from here we can see we have on create already available. Now we can write on start. For this, simply write on start. So Android Studio is suggesting. So you can click on this. You have to double click on this. And boom, it is included in your project. In the same way, I will write all the events in the sequence. Now on resume. You can also write it by clicking the enter button. Now on pause. In the same way on stop. And then on restart. And finally on destroy button. So guys, all our activity lifecycle events are included in this file. Now the question arises, is it possible to know when these events are being called? Yes, there is an easy way to know the state of the application is by putting the logs. For this, we have to define the tag for our logs. Let's write some coding. Log tag, we will put the tag as activity lifecycle. Now we will put the log here by writing log.i, and in the first argument we will type the tag we have defined upward, and now we will write our message on create event called. In the same way, copy this log and write in all events. On start, event called. On resume, sorry. On pause, event called. On stop, on restart, and finally on destroy event called. Now you have to connect your real Android phone with the Android Studio. You can also test it on the simulator. If you do not know how to connect your Android phone or simulator with your Android Studio, I will put the link of my previous video in the description. You can check out there. So now my phone is connected with the Android Studio. It is Huawei and blah blah. Now to check the logs, I have to click on this logcat. You can see here I am receiving a lot of logs here. So these logs are coming from my Android mobile phone. So I have to put the filter on these logs. I am only interested with the logs provided with this newly developed application. For this I have to write a filter on it. For this, click on edit filter configuration. But before that, let's put the log tag in front of us. We will need it. And from here, select the Android setting, goes into the Gradle scripts, and from here build Gradle module app, and copy the package name or application ID of our application. We will need it in writing the filter. Now come back, select the edit filter configuration, write the name of the filter as activity lifecycle. So the log tag will be this tag we just have defined, activity lifecycle. And in the package name we will paste the package name of our application we just have copied and click OK. So we just have applied the filter on the logs. So now we are not receiving all the logs. We will only receive the logs from our application. So if you again select the no filters, you are again receiving that logs here. So we will only interested in our application logs. So now select our device from here and click this run app button. Let me put the phone in front of us so that we will know what is going on. Let's wait a while until Android Studio builds the application and install in our mobile phone. So it will take some time, so be patient. So as you can see here, my application is just launched and I have received on create, on start and on resume. So I have received these events on create, on start, on resume just by launching my application one after the other. In the same way, when I click the home button, so first of all let's clear these logs from here. So now when I put my application in background by clicking the home button, I first received on pause event and then I receive on stop. From here you can see on pause and on stop. So I am standing here. So now let's again clear the logs. and from the list I will again launch my app. It is in stop state, so when I click to launch it, I have received on restart, on start and on resume. So you can see here I was standing here again launching my application. I have received on restart, on start and on resume. So let me clear logs again. And now when I am going to kill this application, it is again gone on pause and on stop because the activity is in the background. So when I click the cross button to terminate this application, I have received on destroy event and my activity is shut down. So this is enough for this session. Hope guys you have clearly understood the topic of Android activity lifecycle. So if you have any question or queries, you can ask in the comment section. And also please like, share this video and subscribe to our channel if you are new to our channel. So see you in next video. Bye bye.